First-time parent versus second-time parent, so different. Like first kid, even breastfeeding, I'm gonna keep talking about it. First-time parent, you're like, this is so beautiful. I'm just going to a quiet room and breastfeed my baby. Second kid, I just like whip a tit out at Costco while I'm pushing my older kid in a shopping cart. I take my boob out everywhere, guys. It's like I'm in college all over again.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Brittany Ross.
What's up, you guys? Hello. I am coming from Los Angeles, and I know you're probably thinking, like, was I affected by the fires? Or do you guys see that on the news here? I don't know what news anybody sees anymore. Luckily, my house is okay, my family's okay. It was pretty traumatic. My daughter's school was closed for a week. When you're in an emergency situation, you really find out what type of person you are, you know? Like, I found out that some of my friends are people who, like, stay behind, fought the fire with their Stanley water bottle full of pool water. And then there's people like me who were just like, I'm scared. I'm gonna go. And like, you can say that here, yeah, it's scary. There were fires like all around, but I was not in an actual evacuation area. But guys, all of my friends were in actual evacuation areas and they kept leaving and going to the desert. And I was like, when is my power gonna go out? Because I wanna go to the desert with my friends. And then I was like, wait, maybe we can't drink the water. They're saying you have to boil it. My husband's like, no, not in our area. And I'm like, oh, I wanna go to the desert with my friends. I was like, oh my God, I think I want my house to burn down so I can go to the desert with my friends. That's how bad I have FOMO. Not a good quality. And then I was like, oh, the air's really bad. We should go. And it was like for sensitive groups. And I have a baby. So I was like, we got to go for the baby. We got to go to the desert for the baby. I did just have a baby. And nobody here cares. Cool. It's my second kid. I don't care either. Let's be honest. No, I did just have a baby, and he's been coming on the road with me, and it's kind of hard to relate to other comics when you have a baby. They're like, do you think we have time to get a drink before the show? I'm like, do you think I have time to run this breast milk back to my hotel before the show? And you're like, what? No, what? No. Nobody likes when you talk about breast milk. You'd rather hear about my sex life than how I keep a baby alive. I know that. I'm aware of that. First-time parent versus second-time parent, so different. Like first kid, even breastfeeding, I'm gonna keep talking about it. First-time parent, you're like, this is so beautiful. I'm just going to a quiet room and breastfeed my baby. Second kid, I just like whip a tit out at Costco while I'm pushing my older kid in a shopping cart. I take my boob out everywhere, guys. It's like I'm in college all over again. I did just take my baby to Vegas to do some shows in Vegas, and I called my hotel and I was like, hey, I'm bringing a baby. Do you guys have a crib? And the receptionist was like, you're bringing a what? It's like, I'm bringing a baby? And she just goes, no, and hung up on me. I did bring my dad with me to Vegas to babysit my baby. I was like, my dad's the perfect babysitter for my baby in Vegas because my dad really likes to get married. But he loves to get divorced, guys. His last divorce, he told me word for word, it's sad because she was the love of my life there for a bit. If you're not laughing at that, you're sitting next to the temporary love of your life, and we all see you. No, this is my dad's MO, okay? He's been married 3 times, divorced 3 times. How does he get so many women, right? He buys them all boob jobs. I'm his daughter, his flesh and blood, and still waiting for boobs, Dad. If it looks like I have boobs, this is all just breast milk and tears, as I have established. I'm gonna keep on talking about it. No, my dad lives in Alaska. This is his MO. My dad lives in Alaska, but he likes Texas women. So he moves to Texas. He finds a flat-chested woman. He sells her on the Alaskan dream and a boob job. Moves her to Alaska. She goes fucking nuts. He goes back to Texas. Hooks another one. Rinse and repeat. He's done it 3 times. If anybody wants to go to Alaska, he's currently single. Find me after the show. I do have a daughter already, and having a girl is interesting, you know. It's just like one more bitch to compete with. She's 5. She just turned 5 yesterday. She tells me things like, go away. And I'm like, I wish I could. The other day she was like, when you braid my hair, you ruin my life. And I was like, you ruined mine too. Now we're even. I would act out her voice for you, but I think it's pretty obvious we sound exactly the same. I was putting her to bed the other night, and I was like, good night, I love you. And she was like, Mom? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I don't like your name. And I was like, what name, Mom or Brittany? And she was like, Brittany. I'm like, okay, like crouched down, made eye contact, like all the gentle parenting books tell you to do. And I was like, listen, I have been an actress in Los Angeles for 15 years. I have once been passed over for a one-line part in a Lifetime movie of the week to play a petite blonde with a small voice named Brittany that I am pretty sure was based on me. So your rejection is doing nothing to me. Nice try, good night. You know how we all have an inner critic? You know that voice in your head that's like, why'd you cut bangs? You're terrible at pickleball, give up. Why are you out doing stand-up when you have 2 small children at home? You think you're a man or something? Well, I think I accidentally gave birth to my inner critic because now my inner critic is outside of my body, running around disguised as an adorable 5-year-old girl. Before I came here, I was like, okay, I'm going out of town. I'm going to do a few stand-up shows. And my daughter turned to my husband and goes, Mom doesn't have a job. What? I'm also an actress. I was like, I'm also an actress. And she's like, let me see a video of you. I used to play a lot younger than I actually am before I had children who sucked the life and collagen out of me. But I used to, when I was like 30, I was still playing like 14. And like it was almost my 30th birthday. I got an audition to play a 16-year-old. And my first thought was like, ooh, growing up. And I went to the audition, and there was like a boy who was a real 16 in the lobby waiting to audition, and he kept staring at me, and I was like, can he tell how old I am? What is he thinking? Was he thinking I have candy in my purse? I don't know. And then he did that head nod thing that cool kids do, and he was like, so, you drive? I'm like, yeah, I drive. This is the way. But there's this documentary that came out recently called Quiet on Set. I don't know if that was a thing here, but it's about this Nickelodeon guy, like real creep, and all these Nickelodeon kids on Nickelodeon shows. And I worked on a lot of these shows that this guy ran, and all of my friends started to call me and be like, hey, did they contact you about the documentary? Like, has anybody reached out to you about this documentary? And I started to realize, oh, when I was 30, I was playing the girlfriend of 14-year-olds. So I'm actually glad nobody reached out to me about the documentary because I was not harassed, but I may have been the predator. I'm not sure. No, my daughter was very excited to become a big sister, and then she found out she was having a brother, and she became less excited. He's like, oh, I know. And she was like, no, we're having a girl. It's a girl. She was telling everyone, it's a girl. We're having a girl. And finally I had to sit her down and be like, listen, honey, we don't always get what we want in life. But if you give it 15 to 16 years, he might also want to be your sister. And I support that. All right, Marietta. Okay. No, then she got really on board, and she was like, can I be the one to pull the baby out? And I was like, what? I don't even know what that is. And I was like, well, I don't know if you're qualified, but what is your stance on Botox during pregnancy? Because I am looking for a doctor who will approve that. And then she came to the hospital to meet her brother, and she was holding him, and it was so sweet, and he started to cry, and I was like, shh, shh, and she stuck her hand up in my face and was like, I can handle it. And in that moment, I realized the last 9 months of my life, I had just been a surrogate for my 4.5-year-old daughter's baby. That's her son. She's his mom, totally fine. My son is at home with his mom right now. I'm here with you guys. But yeah, I can tell it's affecting her being a big sister. You know, she's having all these nightmares now. She keeps coming in our room at night, and she's like, I had a bad dream that me and mom were getting on a bus. And then mom put me on the bus, and then she just didn't get on the bus, and I was all alone, and we're like, oh, this is so sad. She thinks we're abandoning her for a sibling, so we like get her tucked in. She finally falls back asleep, and then I finally fall back asleep, guys, and I had a really good dream. I had a dream that me and my daughter were getting on a bus. And then I put my daughter on the bus, and then I did not get on the bus. And I just went home in my dream, and I took a shower in my dream, like a real shower. Not a shower where you're like eating a bar in the shower and calling it lunch. Not a lunch shower. The moms get that. You know people who abandon their kids, you know? You know 'em. I used to think like, how did they do that? Now I have 2 kids, and I think, how did they do that? Curious. You know, after you have a baby, everyone's like, do you have any postpartum hormones? And I'm like, if I'm being really honest with you guys, I still haven't gotten over my post-marriage hormones. You know, like after you get married and then your husband walks in the room and says hi, and you're like, is this the rest of my life? Like chews, breathes, eats loudly, and you're like, why did I do this to myself? My husband likes to hum around the house, and I finally understand why there's so many shows about women killing their husbands. Wives with Knives, Snapped, Happily Never After, Southern Bride Homicide, all real shows. He doesn't hum like anything we know, like Hit Me Baby One More Time. No, he hums like classical music. I'm like, I don't know that Mozart piece. I'm actually just here to plug my episode of Snapped. It's coming out in 3 weeks. No, but my husband's been really stressed out. We have a new baby at home. Like, everybody's stressed out. My husband's stress has been pissing me off. So I was like, you need to do something for yourself. You need to plan something for yourself, like go out with a friend or something. And so he's like, okay. So he plans a bike ride. And the day he's supposed to go on the bike ride, I get sick and I needed to go to urgent care. And he's like, I don't think I should go on this bike ride. I feel like I should cancel. You're going to be mad at me if I go. And I was like, the only way I'm going to be mad is if you do not go on the bike ride. Just like go on the bike ride. And he's like, I don't think you can handle 2 kids at urgent care. Like, you don't think I can handle 2 kids at urgent care? 2 kids that I pushed out of my body. You don't think I can handle them at urgent care? And so he goes on the bike ride. I go to urgent care. Turns out I can't handle 2 kids at urgent care. It's like a shit show disaster. We're like waiting on the curb for an hour. My baby's screaming. I'm like, everyone's looking at me like I'm a single mom. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a single mom because my husband is on a bike ride. And I'm like, I hate this place. And my daughter's like, we hate this place. Right, Mom? I'm like, yeah, we hate this place. And finally they call us in and the doctor's like, so can you tell me what's going on here? And my daughter's like, we hate this place. And I was like, timing, get it together. So we get out of there finally, we go home, and I promised my daughter she could give her brother a bottle for the very first time. So I'm pumping so she can give him a bottle, and she's trying to feed him a fake plastic cupcake that he's trying to breastfeed on. And I'm like, he can't have that, you can't do that. And she's now in the closet crying like, I'm a bad mommy. And I'm like, you are not his mom. And my husband walks in humming some Beethoven bullshit, and he's like, "You are so right. I really needed to go on that bike ride." It's like, I can't believe you went on that bike ride. Because guys, like, what kind of husband would go or not go on a bike ride, you know? Now he's crying in the closet. Everyone's crying in the closet. I just fell asleep and I had that really good dream again, you know what I mean? Thanks, guys. I'm Brittany Ross.